Today we're going to evaluate the Hoka Arahi 2. It is Hoka's motion control shoe. It weighs, this is a size 10, and it weighs about 11 ounces. We're going to compare it to the motion control shoe of the Brooks. This is the Brooks Addiction 13, and this shoe weighs about 12 ounces, about an ounce more than the Hoka. So let's go to the testing machine and let's see the results. So we've already tested the Brooks Addiction 13, and it had an overall stability rating of 87.2, and it had a loaded heel to toe ratio of 8.18. Now we're going to test the Hoka Arahi 2, and we're going to compare it to the Brooks Addiction. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to test the midfoot stability of the shoe. And how we do this is we torque the shoe to 15 degrees and we measure the resistance to that torquing or torsional force. We measure it in inch-pounds. So what we do is we'll take this, and the heel is stabilized, and we're going to rotate the long axis of the shoe to 15 degrees, and we have about 68 inch-pounds. So we'll place that in our mathematical model here, 68, and that is our midfoot stability, 68 inch-pounds. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the rear foot stability. We're going to test the rear foot stability of the shoe. We do this by compressing the midsole vertically to 100 pounds. The more distance it takes to get to that 100 pounds, the softer the midsole, the less stability. The less distance it takes to get to that 100 pounds, the firmer and the more stability in the rear foot. So let's start.
Okay, I have a wide foot, and I would be this. I would have an M for me. Medium, yes. And then for George.
So it took us 7 millimeters to get to 100 pounds. So let's place that in our mathematical model. So the 7 millimeters are placed in there. And now we have 65.9 shoe stability index versus the Brooks Addiction 87.2. The loaded heel to toe ratio is minus 1.92. And that just tells you that when you load that shoe to 100 pounds, the heel will be lower than the forefoot. So let's look at the overall difference in the shoe. The midfoot stability, the Hoka had a minus 1.45% less midfoot stability. In the rear foot or hindfoot stability, it had minus 81.15%. And the heel to toe ratio, it had minus 123.47% less heel to toe ratio than in the Brooks Addiction. For the overall stability, shoe stability, it had a minus 24.46% less stability than in the Brooks Addiction. So once we look at this, this data, we can tell you who should be in that shoe. So let's come over to a shoe index that tests about 45 pairs of shoes. So as I said, the shoe stability index for the Hoka is 65.9. So that shoe would be in our index, would be in the almost in the mid portion of a moderate stability shoe. So that shoe should probably be worn by someone who is a minimal to a moderate pronator. It should not be worn by someone that has a very tight calf complex because of the negative heel to toe ratio that I mentioned before. For the Brooks Addiction, which was 87.2, that is way up into this area, so it's the third from the most stable shoe. It's got a loaded heel to toe ratio in the positive, in the maximum range of 8.18. So that is a good shoe for moderate to severe pronator or someone with flat feet. It's an excellent shoe for someone that has a tight calf complex or has Achilles tendonitis or plantar fasciitis because of its high loaded heel to toe ratio. So that is the difference between both of these motion control shoes.